Gibraltar especially, is it being driven by the government, the sustainability, or is it the developer himself is very conscious of it because he's getting a lot of credit or incentives for it, or the occupiers are forcing them? How is it working there in Gibraltar or
Well,
in
it's
Europe? Let me expand the horizon from Gibraltar to Europe.
yes, well, I mean, it's the famous chicken and egg question, isn't it? And that's always something that there's an argument for both sides, but I think we do need to be, I think, driven by government and by local governments. Naturally, and I obviously speak as a developer. We, we tend to fight. We look at the structure that we're given in terms of the legislation and the regulation and the requirement, and we naturally look at that and try and work out the most effective way to make sure that we, stay in the black on our, we're not going into the red, and that we manage to make a successful business from it. So therefore, one of the things that I've been doing in the UK, for instance, is talking with local government to say, why is it that the planning authorities, and this will be the same in India, I'm sure, they focus on certain things which a developer then has to listen to. None of those things tend to be sustainability linked at the moment, and that I think is an issue. So we will obviously listen to a planner because we know that the planner needs to give us planning permission to develop a building. So if the planner's telling us that we need to do this, we will find a way, one way or another. And that, I think, commences the sort of, or begins to solve the chicken and egg, because as soon as developers start saying, well, hold on, we need to use a different build material, so where is this? And the more you get these inquiries coming from developers, the more you have the sort of the procurement line and the supply chain begins to kick into gear and change as well. So it's a gradual change across lots of different sort of vertically integrated systems, really, of the property sector. But I do believe it. You have to have that leadership from government and from political figures as well. I do think also the consumer has a really big part to play in that, and by the consumer I mean us. And we need to be calling that out when we're looking at moving into buildings as occupiers, for instance. We need to make sure that we're asking those questions of a developer, so that the developer knows that it's something that's important. So I think it's a bit polarized, but at the same time, everyone needs to give their own piece really to this, so that people realise that they need to be delivering sustainable buildings, and that has to be a priority, because at the moment it too often tends to be at the back of the mind.